Hey guys, Jed N1JBC here. Hope all is well. I thought I would follow up with Audio 2.0 on the Lucid POC radio because I've gotten asked a few questions and I thought I'd just cover a whole bunch of topics. So now that you all know what the Lucid is, for those who didn't see the first video, it is a POC radio or push-to-talk over cellular that allows you to communicate over a radio, obviously with cellular being your connection between point A and point B. It's pretty darn slick. And we will, you heard a little bit of a demo, obviously, in the first video, so we won't get into a whole lot of that. But I want to go over a couple of questions that I've gotten asked. I'm gonna give you my email, so in case you have any questions, email is Jed Barton. That's Juliet Echo Delta Bravo Alpha Romeo Tango Oscar November @gmail.com. Easy enough. So one of the first questions I've gotten asked is, is there a manual? I am sure that there is, but honestly, to be brutally honest with you, you don't need it. Because this radio is about as simple and basic as you can get. That's the whole idea behind this radio, okay? This is how fast I was on the air with this radio. I literally went to my mailbox, which is about 20 feet down my driveway, pulled the box out of the mailbox, walked inside. It took me longer to open the box up than get on the air. Okay? That's how fast it was. Pulled it out. Okay? I went to the radio, and there are 4 buttons right underneath the display. 4 round buttons. The very right-hand one, you hold it in for about 3 seconds. I'm actually going to show you what that does now. Okay? That's your power button. And your back button. Okay? So let me actually go over the radio layout here real quick. Very simple. First of all, you do not need an antenna. Okay? It's built in. So there is no option for an antenna. It's built into the radio, which it is with most of them, with most POC radios. Very left-hand side, like a typical ham radio, there's your PTT button on top. It's a large button. Below it, 2 volume controls. Volume up, volume down. Okay? And you have your speaker grill on the front. You have your big display, which you'll see in the middle of the radio. There is a speaker mic, 2-pin speaker mic connector that's underneath the gasket on the right-hand side. Okay? Typical 2-pin. I have not played with a speaker mic yet. I did forget to mention in the first video that it does charge by USB-C, which is awesome. Most POC radios, that's how they're charging now. I mean, quite frankly, if you're not on USB-C, you're kind of behind. And then underneath the display, there are 4 buttons, 4 round buttons. And like I was saying the other day, there's not a lot. So let's power this beast up. Let's power it up. I'm going to hold in the right-hand button for about 3 seconds. Okay? Releasing. Okay. So you're going to give this a couple seconds, and she'll start babbling. Let's see what she does. So when you first power it up...
Jet Portable Login successful. Enter the group 1 POC everybody 1.
And boom, that's it. She's up and running. So basically what it does when you first power it up, it logs it into the network because the radio's already been programmed and you're good to go. Okay, so we're on the main default talk group channel. It literally takes it may take a few seconds longer when you first get it because it has to find the cell carrier. By the way, speaking of cell carriers, the SIM card is already installed, and it uses a combination of AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. and it switches between them simultaneously. So you'll never know when it's switching. That's how great this stuff is. It just happens. Okay. And the other day I went over, of course, in the first video I went over the menu structure, but just a recap. Okay. I'm going to hit the very left button, which is your menu button.
Menu. Group.
Okay. You have group, and then you have your up arrow and your down arrow, which are right next to the menu button.
Member.
Okay. So when we go into group, for instance, okay,
Group.
and to get into that menu, you're going to hit the menu button.
Group. 1 POC. Everybody 1.
Okay, and then you're going to arrow down to get to your next channel.
POC. Everybody.
Okay. And you can just arrow down through your groups.
Menu. Group.
Okay. And I just backed out of the menus. I just hit the back button a couple times. So it's pretty cool. I did forget to mention one thing. When you key up.
Good morning.
Oh, well, hang on a second. Looks like there's a... Good morning. What's going on, bud? One of my friends just popped on the air.
Oh, just getting ready to go do adulting things, grocery store and all that fun stuff.
Oh, good. I'm working on Lucid 2.0 of a second audio demo. So you just made it. Congratulations.
Oh, lucky me.
So that's my buddy Raj. He's up in Boston. So as you can tell, I don't know if you heard it, but
So you guys going to blow them up with everybody's going to buy one this weekend?
I think that's the plan. Hold on one second. So I don't know if you can hear it, but when you transmit on this radio, listen to this. When you hit your transmit button and when you release your transmit button, it will beep. The beep is a little bit quiet. I don't think you can actually make it a little bit louder. I got to look into that, but that's how you know you're transmitting. So it will give you that a beep when you key up and a beep when you unkey. Okay. As far as who's actually keyed up, in other words, transmitting, I don't believe it's doing that at this stage. But you'll start to know voices. The other thing of it is that when, and again, this is just one of those limitations that, all these kinds of radios have, that when somebody's talking, your voice, is unfortunately, you won't be able to navigate the menus. But, that's one of those things you're just going to have to learn to work around. That's a very common thing with, a lot of these radios. A lot of it's, firmware limitations and space and all that. I mean, look, the fact we have a fully talking radio is a huge plus. You just got to kind of, work around it a little bit and play with it. One of the big things that you'll be able, when as soon as somebody stops talking and you go into the menu, you'll figure it out. You'll figure it out. I wanted to kind of wrap this video up. I did speak with Scott yesterday at Simple PTT. He loves the idea that everybody's excited about this whole thing. And he's very excited that there's, sort of a niche market here with people who are visually impaired. And I want to just talk about Scott real quick because it's Simple PTT. Quite frankly, the guy's awesome. I haven't known him for a very long time, but we got to be very friendly very quickly. And this whole thing started with a 2-hour conversation that Scott and I had, and quite frankly, it could have gone longer. We were talking about POC radios, the state of the industry, all that kind of stuff. And believe it or not, Scott's not a ham. He's not. He'd like to, but it's just one of those things he hasn't done. But when I approached him about this need for a radio and to see if there was something that could be done, the fact he was able to go to a manufacturer and they were willing to work with him to release this firmware, quite frankly, is pretty damn amazing. And literally in about a 3-week period of time. So, kudos to him for that. That it started with a conversation that he and I had. And, there's a lot of POC radios out there. And unfortunately, the problem with a lot of them, I mean, guys, let's be honest. They're all made in China. Okay? What isn't made in China? But a lot of the companies are based in China as well. Like, and talking to them, like, for instance, one I can think of is Global PTT. You try and ask them a technical question, and it's like talking to, you write them a very long email with explanations of things you need, and, you get literally like a 3-word response. And that can be frustrating. So, Simple PTT, although they are rather new, they're not going anywhere. I can tell you that. There are, Scott does this day in and day out. There are other people involved in the company as well. And I fully expect that with this market that we have here with a radio of this caliber, it's going to take off. So that hopefully gives you a little bit more background on the radio and, accessibility. It's not a radio with a lot of frills. That's for sure. One of the questions that I got asked was, can you run Zello on it? And the answer is no. Guys, I've done this sort of stuff for a long time. And to be brutally honest, I wouldn't want Zello on a radio like this. Okay? Zello has its own little issues, shall we say. And that, to be honest, I've had a lot of people say to me, well, why don't you just use Zello? It's free. And my response is, and again, I do a lot of work in radio, amateur and commercial. And to be honest with you, Zello is a pain in the neck. It really is. If you're going to run Zello, you really want to have a dedicated device for Zello. That's my honest to God opinion, because I tried running it on my iPhone and it just, my phone's busy enough. I've got notifications, I've got emails, I've got text, blah, 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 blah. And you really want to run Zello on a dedicated device. And I have a solution for that too, but that's for another video. So, I hope this was helpful for Lucid 2.0. And anybody has any questions, feel free, shoot me an email. Jed Barton, again, Juliet Echo Delta, Bravo Alpha Romeo, Tango Oscar November, at gmail.com. We can get some talk groups created off the public side for, hams who are visually impaired or whatever. We can cross that bridge later. But everybody's excited that hopefully we're going to, get some people on some radios and have some fun. One other thing I will end with, the price point. Now, $99 for the radio. Regularly, I think it sells for $119. $99 for the radio, and then you have to pick the SIM plan that you want. And by the way, that $99 when you buy the radio comes with a year of service on it. So you can do. You're better off either buying a 3-year plan or a 5-year plan, which really does not cost a whole heck of a lot more to add that on. What I always tell people, at least buy a 3-year plan. That way you don't even have to think about it. you'll probably spend $30 on a 3-year plan. I forgot exactly what it was just because I'm not looking at it at the moment. But just do that. That way you don't even have to think about it. It just auto-renews. And it's one of those things, because I've had people ask me, well, are you going to get an extra cell plan? No. Don't overthink it. You don't need that. Okay? You just, you get it for, a year, 3 years, or 5 years, and that's it. It just works. That's it. It's just done. If for some odd reason you have a problem with the SIM card, Simple PTT is fantastic. They'll get you hooked back up. But really, you set it and forget it and leave it alone. You don't have to go get an extra SIM card for any of that stuff. It's just, it just works. That's the best way I can say it. So anyway, guys, hope this was helpful. And any questions, let me know. And off we go. So catch you guys on the Simple PTT world. Let's party on, kids.
Record button. Stop button.